We started this company quite a few years ago, and we outgrew it in Dawson Creek, so we moved out here and bought this farm. And it was subdividable. Started running our business out of here, and we had 12 or 13 trucks. The regional district come after us and started telling us that we could not operate any business out of this property at all. You'd have to move all your buildings and everything off. We started looking into their policies, and we found out they got step after step to do. PRRD is sister company to the ALR. ALC is the other one. All three work together, which completes the circle. So when they tell you, the PRRD tells you what to do, you try to complete that. And we tried every move we tried to make it work for them. They ended up giving us fines. I actually asked the judge what I should do to dispute these fines. And the judge told me that he was sick and tired of the PRRD handing fines out. He said, why don't you give them a fine? And he said, and if they pay it, you have to pay income tax like everybody else. As we moved along, it just got worse and worse. The employee of the PRRD shows up taking pictures. So I said, no, you got to leave the property, because my safety girl has now told me that you need to give me a letter, and it has to be mailed to me and a certified mail. And then 10 days you can come on my property, but you have to wait 10 days. So as she was driving down the hill, I phoned the wife. She was in the office down below, and sent this lady down the hill, and I said, I want you to tell her to get off that property. So of course, Doreen walked out, and we were still on the phone, and she told this person to get off the property. She said, you guys are just savages. I don't have to get off the property. So I come down the hill, and I actually told her again to get off the property. They ended up on our property again. When they come on the property this time, it was the PRD, the building inspector, and the RCMP, the sergeant. And I asked in front of them, I said, my safety person told me you are not allowed on this property because there's a private property sign up there, and you're not allowed on there unless I get this paperwork. She said, I have the paperwork with me. But that paperwork was supposed to be handed in to the mail, and I was supposed to pick it up from the mail, not handed the day they show up. So I talked to the sergeant and told him I had no problem with him being on that property, but I did not want the PRRD on my property ever again. He asked her then if she delivered this mail. They said they had it in their hand. So I didn't have time to read it right then anyway, so I just told them I wanted them off my property. Running a small business with these three outfits, the ALR and the ALC and the PRRD, is just about impossible if you're running a small business, because they will run you in circles around and around and around, and you never get out of that circle. It's impossible. And they use it as a playing game. They're actually playing games with you. And it's just, there's nothing we can do. I mean, there's no way of pleasing these people. They come up with some other excuse every time. We're trying to do the best we can to stay in business, but I mean, they're forcing us and a whole bunch of other people in this neighborhood out of business. They said this was supposed to be farmland. Well, it's so hilly, and you could not farm this land in the first place. There is one 10-acre spot that you could actually farm, and we do farm it. We have hay on it, and we do have horses. But you can't farm this. You get out of that hay, it cost me $600 to get 8 bales of hay, and I get about $80 a bale, and I have to pay the guy that cuts it and turns it into a bale. I pay him about $400. That's the only part of this land that you could actually farm. The rest you cannot farm. It's not farmland, and it's been proved that. It's so hilly and stuff. And the actual 10 acres that we do have, there's no access to it. You'd have to climb up this mountain here behind me with the equipment. The equipment won't climb it to farm it, so I have to come in through the neighbors to even farm this little 10 acres. And if I didn't know the neighbor, it'd be impossible to go through there. The neighbor would just say, no, if he doesn't want me crossing his property, I can't cross his property, so I can't farm it anyways. The PRRD just jumps in and says, no, you can farm everything. I don't know how that works in their mind, but I think they haven't ever tried to farm. I'm pretty sure of that.